Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to our Renovation Insights House and Home webinar. I'm Olivia. I'm sure I've met a lot of you at our events before or perhaps in our office. So thanks again for joining this afternoon. So I'm excited to run through this webinar. It should be really interesting. I'm going to be covering a lot of information from our House and Home survey, the results of which came back just a few months ago, so quite fresh data and insights, which is great. If you do have any questions during the webinar, or if at any point you can't hear me, the slides aren't advancing, please do let me know by just asking a question. You should see the questions or the chat tab that's just in the control panel of GoToWebinar there. But if not, if you do have a question that I don't get to answer during the webinar, please don't worry. I'm going to be sending an email after this, so we can always kind of chat then and hash out any questions. So, today we will be talking about the House and Home study, and the objectives are really, or the agenda is to really just kind of refresh what House is and understand the 5 layers of House. I know, of course, all of you are very familiar with the platform, but just as a little reintroduction. And then we'll dive into the study. So we'll learn what Aussie homeowners are doing to their homes. We'll understand their motivators for renovating, decorating, and building. And we'll discover who they turn to for help, so who they're actually hiring for these projects. So this webinar is recorded as well. So if you do have any questions or anything at all that you'd like to kind of follow up on, or maybe just listen to again, don't worry, I will send you the recording in that follow-up email after the session as well. So Houzz is the largest residential design database in the world. For professionals like you, it's a fantastic place to showcase your work, build your brand, reach new clients, and collaborate with clients all on this one space. For users, so renovators, homeowners, it's such an easy and fantastic way for people to get the design inspiration they want, the project advice, the product information, and get in touch with the professionals that they want to help just basically turn their home ideas into a reality. Houzz was founded by a husband and wife, so Adi and Alon, in 2009 in the US. And they basically were just in the midst of a renovation themselves, during which they really struggled to find the right inspiration, information, and professionals that they needed. They just yearned for this one-stop shop, so they were really just searching for a place where they could find all the information, but also store it. So from there, Houzz was born, basically, and we have since exploded globally and grown to have these 5 distinct layers of Houzz. And these 5 layers that you see on the screen are really tied together by very smart technology that just allows Houzz to be such an end-to-end solution for anything to do with home design, decorating, or renovating. And those 5 layers I will just fly through now. We have photos, which is the section of the site where people spend the most amount of time. So this is where people spend their time browsing through beautiful home design, landscaping, decorating photos for inspiration. This is where users can filter down by room type, by style, location, budget. And all of these filters can be applied to your own photos. If you are not aware of how you can add those filters, let me know, because my team can really help you add them to your own, so your photos can get the most exposure that they really deserve. Photos as well are fantastic on Houzz because they're not just a photo in isolation, they are actually this gateway to so much more info, because if I click on any of these photos on the screen, I can see the professional behind this work, and I can go straight to their profile, see more about them, and get in contact with them as well. The next is Find Pros. So this is our service directory, and this is where you are listed as a professional, and users can jump in and search by category and by location as well. Our product stream is great, as this is where all of our products are housed, basically. So similar to photos, but with a product focus. And Houzz is not a e-commerce site in Australia, so it isn't a shop, but people can discover local makers and national brands and retailers through these products. And if and when they choose to purchase any piece that they find here, they just get in contact with that brand or maker straight from the photo. Next is our stories. So this is our editorial section, which is a fantastic resource, and it has some amazing content in here. We send out 2 newsletters a week, so you may see the Houzz magazine coming into your inbox on Wednesdays and Sundays. That has all of our latest stories in there. I'd really encourage you to subscribe to that newsletter if you don't already have it, because it is a fantastic way to keep up to date. All of our stories are written by our in-house editorial team, as well as professional contributors. So professionals can really get involved in the editorial section. You can submit a project, a photo, or you could submit an article or just show your interest in writing for Houzz. Our editorial team are always interested in talking to more professionals. Our 5th layer is advice. So this is our discussion section. And this is where you can basically just get involved in the Houzz community. So you can ask a question, you can answer a question, you can start a poll, you could post a before and after photo, and you can really just start connecting with not only homeowners and renovators that are using Houzz and seeking advice, but also other professionals. So I would really encourage you to take a bit of a dive in the advice section. It has recently had a bit of a revamp as well, the landing page, so I would definitely check that out and just look at the new kind of search functionalities that we have in there. So basically, those 5 layers are apparent on every single photo on Houzz. So that basically creates such an integrated consumer experience for our users. Because I can look at this photo and obviously get inspired by it, but I can discover the products that are tagged in this photo as well. I could connect to the professional straight from this photo by clicking on their name. I could read an editorial piece that this photo has been featured in straight from this photo as well. And I could also ask a question straight to the professional, all from this one photo. And that is why consumers love us. That's why they spend so much time on Houzz. And it does just allow you to get the maximum exposure from every single photo as well. That integrated experience has been a big factor in why we have exploded globally as well. So we now have houses, so Houzz users, in 100% of the world's countries, which is very exciting. And then to just look at some more global stats, we have 40 million unique users coming on the site every single month. In Australia alone, it's 1.5 million. We have 14 million photos on the site, which is beautiful. And our app, which if you have never checked out before, I would definitely go to the App Store or the Play Store and download that. We won Best App of the Year at the Google Play Awards last year, which is a very exciting time for us. We also know a lot about our users, as I will dive into next. But what you can see on your screen right now is a timeline of how someone uses Houzz. So basically, this is a great way to understand just how someone lands on the site and then how they move around each of those 5 layers. So basically, they land on the site looking for ideas and inspiration. Most people are looking for inspo, they're looking at photos, and that's where they're spending the most amount of time. Then they ask professionals like yourselves for advice on their upcoming projects. Homeowners can then hire professionals that they find on the platform via the professional directory or via your profile itself. And then you can come back to Houzz to finalize the finishing touches for their homes by dropping into the product section of the site. So this is really important to note. And it's just more important to note because people are on Houzz at multiple stages of the decision-making funnel or decision-making process for their own home design. So it is important to try and catch them and just showcase your work to them no matter where they are sitting in that decision-making process. To make sure that you are grabbing their attention and doing it well, make sure your profile is looking fantastic. So easier said than done, but it's not that hard to make your profile look similar to Dan Kitchen's Australia here, or similar to any other very robust filled out profile. So you can see straight from this profile that it is a very good looking profile. There's multiple badges on the left hand side, 25 projects with some fantastic photography there. There's a lot of detail and clear directory information up the top. And then Dan has 74 reviews, which is an amazing thing to look at if you are a potential client of theirs. We know that Houzz is quite a competitive market and users are looking for specific people. They're looking for personalities that they can get along with. They're looking for projects that are similar to the aesthetic that they have in mind for their own profile. So make sure that you are including a lot of detail about who you are and what you do on your own profile. Really encourage your clients and maybe other colleagues to leave you a review, and make sure you're keeping up to date by uploading the best quality projects. I will just dive into this a little bit later, but I did just want to introduce you to our Pro Plus, which is exclusive marketing program that we have here in Australia for professionals. As an attendee of this webinar, you are open to a discount for this program, which is a great offer because it is quite a competitive program that is not offered to everyone. And there's just a couple of features of Pro Plus that really go back to what I've just been saying about where people are spending the most time on Houzz, which is the photo section. So as part of the Pro Plus program, we allow you to have sponsored photos, which give a bit more detail about who you are, what you do. People have a click through of more of your photos. And most importantly, these photos are pushed in front of users that are in your area. So we can help you target those users that are searching for professionals like you in your own area. And there's a couple of other great aspects of the program that you can see on the screen. Like I said, we'll talk more about this at the end of the webinar. But for now, let's dive straight into our survey. So our Houzz and Home study, there's a lot of insights and trends that we can see from this study. And basically, I'm just going to be scratching the surface of this huge study this afternoon. If you would like to have access to the full study from this year, you can do so by downloading the PDF. The PDF is available just on the Houzz research page. You'll be able to see that if you jump onto houzz.com.au and look in the About section. There is then a section called Houzz Research. But what I will also do is send you a follow-up email that can include the link to this. So that's a bit of an easy access for you. But in there, you'll find a lot more trends and insights. So our annual Houzz and Home survey is the largest survey of residential renovation, building, and decorating activity. It covers a wide range of renovation projects, from interior renovations and extensions to home systems, exterior upgrades, and outdoor projects. And this year's study includes more than 9,000 respondents just in Australia. So we're looking now at the local content from our Australian Houzz and Home study. So looking at what we're doing in our homes over the past 12 months, we can see on this first slide that 57% of users redecorated or refurnished their home. 53% renovated, 8 built a home from the ground up, which is quite a large chunk out of these respondents. However, it is clear that very much so the trend is towards renovating and repairing rather than building from scratch. Recent Australian home buyers are really driving the renovation market in Australia. And according to this latest survey, as well as being twice as likely to renovate, new homeowners' renovations are actually larger in scope as well. We're spending more on our renovations than ever before. And whether we've just bought a house or have been saving our pennies until we can afford to do these repairs or home improvements, we've been living in this house for quite some time. So I'll show you over the next few slides that it is clear that there is such pent-up demand for these renovations that people are really waiting a long time before they renovate. So they are choosing to hire professionals and really do the job well. And they're not afraid to spend a little bit more money to do so. When we look at what's coming up in the horizon and just looking at renovations specifically and what people are planning for the next 12 months, we can see that more than half of the renovators are planning further renovations over the next 12 months. So painting, window treatments, and lighting, that's topping everyone's to-do list. And more than 90% of renovators plan to hire a home professional in the coming months for their renovation or upgrade. And this is a fantastic result to see 92% planning to hire a professional, because we tend to think that there is a trend towards DIY, people just doing it themselves. But really, like I was just saying, there is such pent-up demand for these renovations that people want to get the job done right. So they're willing to invest the time and money in the professionals who can really see the project through and deliver them the exact results that they want or that they dreamed of. Why we are renovating now? So when it looks at basically why now, the top answers are finally having the time and finally having the means to renovate. So those are really the key triggers for any renovation in Australia. Finally having the time and money is the reason most renovated, despite wanting to do it all along. So it goes back to that pent-up demand. Other reasons were to customize the home to their needs or adapt to recent changes in family or perhaps lifestyle. Also to repair damage that was due to the house deteriorating over time or due to pests like termites. They were some other triggering factors why people are renovating now. And then how do we pay for it? So how are Aussies funding their home renovations? When we look at this, just 15% of renovations are paid for by refinancing the mortgage. Instead, the majority of homeowners, so 79%, save up to pay for their renovations or spend in cash. And when it comes to what challenges we face in our home renovations, staying on budget was a challenge for 34% of homeowners who recently renovated, followed closely by finding the right service providers and sourcing the right materials. Defining their own personal style and funding the projects were other challenges that Aussies faced as well. So I think this slide has some fantastic takeouts for you to note, particularly that some of the top challenges that Aussies face are finding the right service providers and finding the right products or materials. So I think that does go back to just showcasing that you are that right professional and getting in front of those potential renovators or clients. So when I'm looking specifically at, say, a house profile or your website or maybe your Facebook page, making sure that you show whoever is looking at your website, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is every service that I provide, this is all of the areas that I work in, and here are all the recently updated projects and things that I have worked on. That can really alleviate a lot of concerns that potential clients have. If you can show them that you have a personality they want to work with, you have fantastic reviews and recommendations, as well as some fantastic projects or products, that can really alleviate these challenges that we know Aussies are facing. And what we prioritise during our home renovations. So improving the look and feel of the home was high on the list of priorities. So that was 74% of renovators, with an equal percentage of people renovating to improve the functionality of their homes. So people do want to just really improve that day-to-day function of their homes and make their home really work for them and their lifestyle. Increasing resale value was a significant driver for 46% of the respondents as well, while improving energy efficiency was important for 42%. Other priorities included incorporating green materials in the home and incorporating smart technology, as well as just addressing health concerns in the home. These last few ones, like improving energy efficiency, integrating green materials, and integrating smart technology, have really been on the rise in Australia as trends. It's really interesting to see that they continue to play such an important role in just what people are prioritising during their home renos. When we're looking at how many projects we tackle in our homes, overall for interior rooms, most people were tackling 2.8 rooms, which is just down from the solid 3 that we had the year before. But yeah, so we tend to go at about 3 rooms. Most people go for the kitchen first, and maybe kitchen and living and bathroom are all tacked onto each other. They tend to be those top interior rooms that are always renovated year after year. Looking at home systems, 2.2 were improved, and then exterior features, 2.3 were looking at being improved as well, which is just a slight drop from the year before too. And when we see the most active renovators for the interiors and just how many projects they are willing to tackle, it's really those recent home buyers. So they're the ones that are really getting their hands dirty and buying that house and then really renovating it, almost the whole thing. So interiors, home systems, and exterior features. And then who do we turn to for help? So who are Aussies looking to hire for all of these renovations that they are working on or planning? As for who they turn to for help, electricians and plumbers topped the most hired list. Carpenters and cabinet makers and painters were next in terms of most popular to be hired, followed by flooring specialists, tilers, and builders. And again, recent home buyers were most likely to hire a professional. So that's 92% of recent home buyers were most likely to hire for their job, compared to the soon-to-be home sellers and the long-term owners, which came in at 88% each. And still looking at who we turn to for help, but this time really looking at how to find the right tradie. So I have mentioned this, so it's not just tradie, but it is design professional, build professional. Hiring the right person for any job can be very daunting, particularly when it's concerning your home that you live in every day and come home to. So it's no surprise that almost 70% of renovators relied on good recommendations and reviews to make their selection. Price was the least important factor in choosing a professional, which is good to see, with just 22% of respondents saying that price came into the equation at all. What did impress homeowners were communication and organization skills, and whether the person, professional or tradesperson, had relevant experience, as well as a personality that they could actually get along with and work on their home with. And when it comes to where we focus our effort, I did mention that kitchen, living, and family rooms always tend to be right up the top, and that is correct here on this example. So kitchens top the list. Most renovations tend to include a kitchen and a living room. There is such a blurred line between kitchen and living room in most Aussie homes, as we tend to go for that more open plan feel in our houses. And then bathroom, particularly the master bathroom, has been the third most popular up there. And as for renovation costs, we outlay an average of 22K for a large kitchen. So a large kitchen meaning over 10 square meters, while renovating a smaller kitchen costs an average of 14 grand. Master bathrooms larger than 5 square meters cost an average of 13 grand. And then when we're looking at laundries, which was that last project on the list, or the fifth, sorry, I should say, They cost an average of $5.7 thousand. And when we are looking at where buyers and sellers focus their efforts, so those recent home buyers are definitely the most active in the renovation game, and they are focusing a lot of energy into electrical in terms of home systems. So that one came right out on top. When we're looking into the interiors, living and family room topped there. Exterior paint was the number one thing to be upgraded outside. And then as far as outdoor project or landscaping project, beds and borders were at nearly 40% for recent home buyers. And you can see the numbers for soon-to-be home sellers and long-term owners, which are very, very close. So it's quite interesting that they are so close in almost all of their factors there. So those are really the big ideas of the study. Like I said, we have really just kind of scratched the surface, and I'm sure you do want to see the full PDF for yourself, or just look at the slides again to really kind of soak in more information a little bit more, or read it on your own time. So like I said, I will send you a recording of this whole webinar, as well as the link to that PDF, so you have easy access to download. But just to kind of wrap up, those big ideas are really that the recent home buyers are driving renovation activity in Australia, and they will continue to over the next 12 months. Kitchen renos prevail. They're always topping the list when it comes to interior projects of the home. People have bigger budgets. We are spending more than ever on home renovations in Australia, and energy efficiency and healthy homes are really topping the list, and just building and building on just renovation considerations. So people are a lot more health conscious and environmentally conscious. So I think this very much so comes into play in their home. And lastly, I did mention that we were offering a webinar discount for Pro Plus today, and that is the exclusive marketing program that we have here at Houzz. So as I mentioned earlier, you can have an amazing organic free profile on Houzz, but we also offer a local marketing program, Pro Plus, which allows you to get increased exposure to your business in specific geographic areas that you're really just looking to gain clients. We know a lot of homeowners are coming on to Houzz with a project in mind and the idea of hiring a professional to do so. We saw that 92% of Aussies are hiring a professional for their job. So Houzz wants to provide visibility to your business, specifically in the areas that you're looking to work in. So this visibility comes in many forms, like sponsored photos, which I mentioned earlier, profile impressions, enhanced directory placement, exposure in our newsletter, which is sent out twice a week, additional exposure in our mobile. Professionals on this program are often interested in tracking their clicks and access to just more analytics and impressions and exposure. So we do provide you with really detailed analytics as well. And to oversee the program, you have a dedicated personal account manager to keep in track and basically just touch base with you every month to see how you're tracking, where you're tracking, and give you some really personalized advice. So as a special offer for those of you who made it this afternoon to the webinar, we are offering a discount, and it is valid until the end of October. If you're particularly interested and you would like a call from one of our experts, please let me know after I send my follow-up email. And for those existing Pro Plus members, this discount also applies to any add-ons as well. So you can always have a chat to your account manager about that offer. And like I said, I will send you an email if you do want to get in touch with me if I don't send it out fast enough. My email is on the screen, but I'm sure you have received emails from me before. Please do check out the latest stories on Houzz. I know we have some amazing new ones up today. And just enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.